Mr. Speaker, in yesterday's Free Press, Lloyd Axworthy talked about today's NDP's poor approach to post-secondary education.
Great Tory.
Including about them becoming the franchise of provincial bureaucrats.
No kidding.
He also spoke of the failure of today's NDP to recognize the importance of graduate education in our knowledge-based economy and the lack of any plans to improve major support in this area. Why has today's NDP forgotten about graduate students?
Right.
And why has today's NDP failed to bring in the major support needed for graduate students here in Manitoba?
Mr. Speaker, last year we were the largest increase of funding for post-secondary education anywhere in Canada, Mr. Speaker. That was the increase in our grants, and we have brought in graduate bursary programs in Manitoba, and we do encourage our institutions to launch graduate programs. For example, there's a new program launched in Brandon University at the graduate level, never seen before, Mr. Speaker. So we look forward to all of our post-secondary institutions developing graduate programs, and those programs are passed first and foremost by their senates, which guarantees that they meet the standards of the academy, and then of course they come to us for consideration, and we give them consideration when they do come to us, and many innovative programs are brought forward, and we support them when they do.
Mr. Speaker, in comparison to other provinces, this province offers peanuts instead of substance when it comes to supporting graduate students. Important to remember that. Lloyd Axworthy also speaks of the need for today's NDP to improve public support for higher education. Funding for an arts or science degree in institutions bordering our province is on average $200,000 to $300,000 higher per student than in Manitoba. On Monday, I asked the government when it was going to catch up to Saskatchewan in manufacturing. Today I ask, what is the province doing to catch up to Ontario and Saskatchewan in terms of support for higher education?
As I said, Mr. Speaker, our funding increase last year was the highest in the country at 2.5%. We have consistently increased funding to universities every single year. As a matter of fact, since 1999, Mr. Speaker, our amount of money that we have provided has doubled. We've provided more than $240 million in grants, scholarships, and bursaries since 1999, with $24 million in the last year, 2013-2014. So, and we've also, in the first time in the history, created the University College of the North, an institution that did not exist before. We've taken the St. Boniface College and we've made it into a full university, the Université de St. Boniface, the first and only French university in Western Canada, Mr. Speaker. So we've made very significant investments in universities. If you look at the University of Manitoba campus, the physical appearance of that campus has been transformed. New engineering building, a new art lab, new student residence, many significant investments out there which have made a gigantic difference in the quality of education made available to people. And as a result, Mr. Speaker, we now see...
Order, please. The Honourable First Minister's time on this question has elapsed.
Mr. Speaker, Lloyd Axworthy, who should know as a former president of the University of Winnipeg, has highlighted the fact that today's NDP have offered a review of higher education by educational officials that excludes real public involvement, transparency, any serious comparative research, or discussions with community organizations, businesses, labor, or Aboriginal leadership. Today's NDP government must be hiding something with their evasive approach to one of the most critical elements in our society, higher education.
They're quite capable.
Manitobans want to know, what is the Premier hiding?
Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Education and Advanced Learning has an advisory committee composed of all the folks that are interested in post-secondary education that is available to him, and he can have input from all sectors of the community on post-secondary education. That is the approach we take. We're willing to listen to a broad variety of interests on how we can improve post-secondary education. In the throne speech, we talked about targeted growth. But I should also say, Mr. Speaker, that our commitment to post-secondary education is not just about ensuring that people are trained for job opportunities. It's also to ensure that they're trained to be good citizens, Mr. Speaker. Good citizens that can make a contribution to our community at a very high level, a very broad level. And some of those people have come to this legislature as a result of those experiences. And we want to continue to have a good post-secondary system in the North, in Winnipeg, in Brandon, available in rural Manitoba. One of the things we said in our throne speech is we would double the number of online courses available to post-secondary students from 500 to 1,000. This will give greater access to students all over Manitoba, no matter where they live, to post-secondary education. That is a major step forward, Mr. Speaker.